welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do quite a natural everyday makeup look. You really need about sort of half an hour to get to grips with this look, so if you carry on watching I'm hoping to show you how to do it step by step. So started off by applying my moisturiser. I've used one today with a high SPF of 50 in. It's by a company called Ultrasun. It looks like this. It comes out quite dark, it has got a little bit of a tint to it, but it's also meant to be really good for pigmentation, sort of freckles and things that I get, or some people get the like liver spots, the age spots. It's really good for dulling them down. But I use that just completely instead of a moisturiser, and then I'll go straight ahead now and put my primer in. I do recommend that you leave it for about 10 to 15 minutes before you put anything on, just because you want it to soak into your skin and the SPF needs time to work before you go out in the sun. So I've popped that on and now I'm going to go ahead and use the primer. Today I'm going to prime my skin. I get quite an oily T-zone, so I want to use a primer that's going to help keep the makeup on all day. I've chosen one called Smashbox Photo Finish in Minimise Pores. It's like this, it's in a little purple tube and it comes out quite a matte consistency. I'll just show you some on the back of my hand. You can see there. When you put it onto the skin, it really blurs out the pores and the fine lines. I tend to concentrate more on my forehead, round my nose and like I said, my chin, just because that's where I find more oil comes throughout the day and it tends to push the makeup away. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply some onto there. So the foundation that I'm going to use today is Estee Lauder Double Wear. It looks like this. I'm sure everyone's seen it. It's in quite a nice glass bottle. The colour that I'm using is 0N1 Alabaster. I think it's the lightest shade that they do. It is a tiny bit too light for me at the minute, so I'm just going to add a slightly darker foundation that I've got. It's a Shiseido foundation. It's quite a liquidy foundation, and that is in the colour medium ivory. I'm just going to add literally a couple of drops to it just to make it a little bit darker. So I'm just going to pop. So I just pop 4 bits where I want it like that, and then I'm just going to go and put a tiny bit of the darker colour in to mix it in, and then I'm going to apply this with a brush. I'm using a MAC brush. I think it's a 139. I want to say it's a 139. It's quite a stubby brush. It's really good for blending the foundation in and get it in all the nooks and crannies around the nose. Some people prefer to do their concealer first, but I do tend to do it after. I get sort of quite dark circles underneath my eyes, so I like to try and cover them firstly with the foundation and then go ahead and see what concealer is needed, rather than putting tons on to start with and then not needing it all. Always go ahead and sort of buff it in, tap it in with my fingers, just to really blend it into the skin and look as natural as possible. Okay, so now that's roughly done, I'm going to go ahead and put on my concealer. So my favourite concealer is one by Maybelline called Fit Me, and it's also in the lightest colour. It's 05. I believe that's quite a new shade to their range actually. I'm going to use today is a MAC powder, and it's a mineralised skin finish natural powder, and it's in the shade Light Plus. So I'm just going to get a big fluffy brush. I've just got a Tarte, quite a dense actually, powder brush, so I'm just going to pop that into the powder and tap off the excess. I tend to dab it more into the skin rather than dragging it around, because I just find that it moves the makeup more. So just push it in, set it in, just to set that foundation and give it a more perfect look. Finish my powder, I do a really quick contour. It's just like an everyday look, so I don't want anything too harsh, and it's important to me that it's really quick to do in the morning. I've just got a Clinique powder that I got for free actually. It's in O2 Sunkissed. It's just a bronzer like this. I'm just taking it on quite a fluffy It Cosmetics brush, just this side here. So it's nothing too harsh, it just wants to be sort of quite natural in natural daylight. Like do the fish face. And it helps you to suck in and see exactly where your cheekbones are. So I'll pop it underneath my cheekbones. I do a little bit on my chin, the end here, and I take some up on my forehead, quite close to my hairline. Then once I've kind of got it roughly where I want it, is when I spend my time blending it in. You want to blend it in as much as you can so that it doesn't look obvious. And take it up to your ear as well. It's really horrible when people have sort of a really dark line and then a really white ear. It just looks really unnatural. You can also blend it down into your neck. I'm wearing quite a high neck today, but if you're wearing something low, you really want to continue that evenness throughout your neck so that you don't get that stripe. So for my blush, well, it's my blush and highlight really, I'm going to use a Bobbi Brown Shimmer Brick in Pink Quartz. It looks like this. It's more of a, I'd say a bronzy rose colour rather than a massively pink colour. So if you're not a really pink person, then it's fine. It's just more of a kind of a highlight and a blush in one. So I don't have to use two products. It's for everyday, sort of want it to be really quick. So I'm just going to pop this on the higher points of my cheek. So I'm just going to put it on this MAC fluffier brush. I believe it is a 189. And you just want to put it on the higher points of your cheekbones. See there how that just catches the light? I take that right up to meet that bronze that we put up here earlier. This Charlotte Tilbury eye pencil, it's called, the colour's called Amber Haze. It's called a colour Chameleon. Just a pencil basically, quite a chubby fat pencil. I tend to apply this straight to the eye, but then you want a brush to blend it. So I just use a fluffy brush by MAC. Just all the writing's rubbed off. Just this fluffy brush. I'm going to write it on the side here. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and put it in quite messily onto my eye. I do both sides at the same time. And then it's really creamy. It doesn't dry straight away. You can just use your blush brush to blend it. I can't speak today. This is the thing that you want to spend the time doing rather than applying loads of different colours. If it's just an everyday look, it's going to be a lot quicker if you just spend your time blending rather than putting in loads of different colours. I think just with this colour you can get away with just one colour, and you've got like your natural skin tone colour there where we've put the powder anyway, so if you want you can go ahead and put a lighter colour in there, but just for everyday I think actually this almost looks like it's two colours because you've got the definition of the darker outer corner colour and the lighter inner corner colour. If I close my eyes out you'll be able to see it looks more like two colours where it's been blended across. Yeah, so now I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows. Yeah, I really like the Max Factor Brow Shaper. It looks like this. It's got a little brush this end and a whiny pencil this end. I like the colour 20 Brown, which is quite good. I've got quite blonde hair up here, believe it or not. That's sort of my natural colour, so I don't want anything massively harsh. I'm going to do my better brow first and then show you one done, and then you can see how much better it looks. I've done this one. You'll see how it looks a lot more lifted. I tend to add a little bit of corner to the outside here. I just want it to like open the eye, lift the whole eyebrow and sort of the forehead a little bit more. So if you haven't, some people have like a beautiful arch, but I haven't, so I just tend to draw it in, just cheat it a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do this eyebrow so I match and don't look bizarre. But it will do. And I just use the brush end of the Max Factor Brow Shaper and just spray it directly onto there. Don't spray too much though because it goes really wet and horrible. And then I just use that in my brows. I curl my lashes with my Shea Umara really filthy lash curlers. you want to just get this really nice and deep into the root. So you want to get a mirror. I've just got a mirror right in front of me here. Just a mirror where you get really, really nice and close. And then just really gently just squeeze. Then you can see how this one, they're a lot more, just make sure I look a lot more open. And I'm just going to do this one here. You can't really see them because my lashes are so fair. But yeah, I'm just going to use a L'Oreal Superstar Super Liner. It's just a liner like this. It's got the like the pen on the end. I just find it a lot easier. You can control it a lot more, and I don't want a massively thick line, so that's what I'm going to use today. Yeah, I'm just going to really quickly do it, but you'll be able to see what I'm doing. But I always do start in this outer corner. So I tend to do the one that I find easiest to start with. So I always find I'm left-handed, so I find my left eye a lot easier. So I just extend where my lower lash line would go up naturally. Just extend there, make a little line, and then I join that line, just running out, to my top lashes, like so. And then join that up across to the inside here. Going to go ahead and do this other eye here really quickly. I've made a little bit of a mistake. I've made it a bit too thick, so I'm just going to get a cotton bud and just neaten it up a little bit. So just wet it, and then you can just sharpen that line up with it. If you have needed to sharpen that line up a little bit, you might just want to take your fluffy brush and just apply some eyeshadow if it's messed up a little bit. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of eyeliner along my waterline on the bottom of my waterline. I just prefer a light colour. I don't massively like a really dark colour in there, and for an everyday look I find it makes my eyes look a lot more closed, and I've spent a lot of my time trying to make the eyes look a lot more brighter. So I'm just going to use this colour, it's like a beigey colour. It's by, who's it by? A Max Factor. It's called a Kohl Kajal liner. I don't know if I said that right. It looks like this. It's just a windy up pen. You'll see here on my hand. It's kind of like a creamy colour. It's not too bright white. But yeah, it's just going to help to lighten the inside of the eyes. So I'm just going to pop that along my waterline. See how much brighter that looks. Finish with some mascara. My favourite mascara is the Max Factor mascara, and it's called 2000 Calorie, and it's the Curl Addict version. It looks like this. It's a black tube with the red writing. I quite like it because I find my lashes are really, really long, so they tend to touch on the top of my brow bone here, and then you get like that bit where it rubs and looks really, really messy. Because I've got quite greasy skin as well, my brow bone's probably a little bit greasier. But it's just got this curled, I don't know if you can see, this brush has got like a slight bend to it. I think that perhaps does help with curling the lashes, but we've already curled them anyway. So I'm just going to zoom in and show you how I pop on my mascara. Just want to look right down into your mirror. So I've got a mirror underneath, which you want to do at home, and then really get close to the root and then wiggle it up. I also find this mascara fine for using on the bottom lashes. I've had a little while to dry. I'm just going to get a dry cotton bud. Make sure you do not wet the cotton bud or it'll just smear everywhere. Just a dry cotton bud, and we just rub along them mistakes. I'll just zoom in so you can see. I don't know if you can see right here, there's a little mistake there. So if you just rub a bit, they're just all going to disappear. The top there as well. It's just the finer details which make your makeup look a lot more neat and polished. Okay, so I'm nearly finished with the eyes. The last thing that I always do with my eye makeup, if I'm doing a winged eyeliner look, I really like to smoke out the eye underneath a little bit. I don't like to do it with a colour that's too dark, so I'm just going to quickly grab a lighter sort of gold bronzy colour. You can use just a normal bronze if you want to, but I just going to go for something a little bit more today. Because of my blue eyes, I prefer to use something a little bit more orange, undertoned. So I'm just going to use my Naked Urban Decay Heat Palette. And I've got a couple of colours in there that I really like to use. There's one called Lumber and one called Scorched. Perhaps even Dirty Talk would work. So it's these colours here. I don't know if you can see that I've got like slightly more shimmer in. I prefer the ones with a little bit of a sheen in. So I'm going to use the colour... I think I'm going to go with Scorch today, and I want to get the, you can use the same cotton bud that you use to wipe up any mistakes. Just a dry cotton bud, and I'm going to go ahead in Scorched. Just dab it in there, try and not mess your palette up too much, because nobody likes messy palettes. It looks like someone's attacked and stabbed them. You want to take this colour from your inner corner to the outer where you've done the liquid liner tip. And I like using a cotton bud just because I think you don't want it to look too perfect. You want it to look a little bit smoky. If it looks too perfect, just use the clean side and you can just smudge it out a little bit, which I'm just going to do now. So I'm really lazy with my lip colour. I tend to use a pencil aligner and put it the whole way over my lip and fill my lip in with the colour as well, just because I want something that's going to last all day, and if you eat and drink, I don't want to be touching it up the whole time. So I'm just going to use a lip pencil. One that I've recently found that are really good are the Revlon Colour Stay lip pencils. They look like this, and they've got, oh, that's the wrong end. This end that comes off less easily is retractable as well, so you don't have to worry about sharpening it. It's in the colour Blush. I'm going to line the outside and then fill it in. So you just want to rest your arm on your bench underneath and have a mirror right in front of you to do this. So I'm just going to line the outer corner. And then once you've lined roughly the outside, you can go ahead and fill in the middle. So this is the finished makeup look. I really hope that you enjoyed watching. If you did, then please give it a massive thumbs up for me and subscribe to the page. I've got tons more content that I want to do. If there's any other ideas or things that you want to see me do, then pop it in the section below. And have a good day, guys. Bye bye.